Yeah, addiction. I asked my intuition one time about addiction. I said, tell me much more about this. I really want to know everything. And they said, well, you're accustomed to thinking of addiction in specific ways, food or alcohol or drugs, sexuality. But basically the voice said underneath that, if you go much deeper toward the unconscious mind, it's judgment.
Mm.
And when Jesus gave his Sermon on the Mount, I think his entire teachings could be encapsulated in two words: judge not,
Mm.
which was there in Sermon on the Mount.
Yes.
So the judgment is the addiction. My intuition told me that's the core addiction, and then it plays out in the human experience in terms of all kinds of different kind of substances and things. I saw Demi Moore just put out a movie recently. It was a pretty intense, wild. She won an award for it, I think, a Golden Globe award. But it was called Substance, the Substance. But basically, I've had friends who've been through 12 steps that had covered their eyes during scenes in that movie with Demi Moore because it just brought up so many memories
Yeah.
of the horrific intensity of the things they went through. But what the Course is teaching us is he's saying basically the ego made the world and the ego made all these defense mechanisms
Right.
and judgment didn't arise until the fall from grace because the mind felt so chaotic going from wholeness and oneness into separation. And there was such chaos, and then judgment was invented by the ego to bring stability into chaos, to
Mm.
minimize the fear without letting it go. Very sneaky defense mechanism, kind of like if you were a school teacher, a preschool teacher, you go out to the restroom, you come back, and it's a food fight. You walk in the door, and the food is flying all over the place. We'll say they're 4-year-olds and there's food on the ceiling and flinging all over. You come in and you go, no, no, stop. All the girls over there, all the boys over there, put the food down. You could see the teacher would bring in a sense of structure and order to try to regain control of the classroom. The ego tried to bring in a sense of control because the mind was so chaotic after it believed it separated from God, went from peace to chaos, and then judgment was invented, and now the mind is just addicted to the judgment. And it's not just negative judgment, it's a whole scale of positive and
Mm.
negative.